Hello and welcome to another Workshop Minute. I'm Matthew Shipp, the host of Harvest to Pour. And today I'd like to talk about how leaders can uncover the root causes of team frustration and turn it into an opportunity for growth and collaboration. You're in a meeting and everybody's kind of quiet. You can see it on their faces and the faces of your colleagues, that frustration, that tension in the room, but nobody's really saying anything. They're saying what they feel they're supposed to say, but not really what they want to say. Usually most people view this as a bad thing. But what if frustration isn't a bad thing, but a guidepost pointing us toward untapped potential? So frustration typically happens when there's a gap between where we are and where we want to be. That can lead to disengagement, wasted time, and unproductive meetings. If you address it, this could build clarity and alignment and momentum. Today, I want to explore why that frustration matters and how to shift your mindset about it, and some practical techniques to uncover and address what's really holding you back. I got a few little mini workshops you can run with your team to kind of get underneath what underlies that frustration. There is significant downside to frustration, obviously, because nobody wants to say anything. You have this tied up this anxiety, and you as a leader want to get to that, but they, as an employee or teammate, don't want to put it out there for many reasons. And some of them could be, I just don't want to look like an idiot in front of my colleagues, or I don't know if I'm the only one dealing with this frustration. So maybe it's something I just need to work out myself and I'm not going to bring it up. Problem is, you let that go on. There's some research that indicates that this can increase your turnover rates. And those turnover rates can be as high as 18 to 40% higher in teams with low engagement compared to those with high engagement. So, this is really important to address frustration, to maintain that engagement and potentially grasp onto something that's going to really help your organization. Another one, Gallup estimates that actively disengaged employees cost the U.S. economy up to $350 billion per year in lost productivity. So frustration also, is going to negatively affect your productivity when people aren't speaking up about what they see problems with they're having in the company, with themselves, and with others maybe. This all just slows things down. And then what happens is the real meeting is the water cooler meeting after the meeting. And that's when they say all what they're thinking, and that just manifests and festers, and it just keeps deeper and deeper. And you don't want the post water cooler meeting, especially when those frustrations haven't been put forward in the real meeting. So if you look at it as a frustration, as your team saying, we know we can do better, and we have some ideas. And when you acknowledge it, it becomes a starting point for progress. So let's start looking at frustration as that point of progress. Instead of seeing frustration as a problem, see it as feedback. It's not about avoiding frustration. It's about leaning into it to uncover what's really going on. The first thing you really need to do is build that psychological safety in your meeting, in your session, in your stand-up. So encouraging that dialogue and creating an environment where team members feel valued for speaking up. Now, this is way easier said than done, but there are some things you can do to start to give them that opportunity, give that team and yourself, in fact, the feeling of being valued for speaking up. And initially, nobody wants to speak up first. So what we can do is provide a situation where everybody can speak up at the same time. Now, it sounds a little crazy because how are you going to, it reminds me of those silly jokes where the teacher stands up in front of the classroom saying, what's your name? Everybody speaks at the same time and the teacher has it. Well, obviously, it's a funny joke, but not reality. So how would you get everybody to speak up at the same time and so they don't feel like they're being isolated? Well, there is a little technique that I like using, an alone together philosophy. So together, you are together under the umbrella of what's frustrating your team or what's frustrating or anything else around that. Or better yet, you're together under an umbrella of supporting the business. Now, alone, you're going to create or write out what your challenges are and what your ideas are. And that is done quite easily with something we all know as the sticky note. So we're going to talk about a exercise that uses those sticky notes and lets everybody speak at the same time anonymously or semi-anonymously. I call it, and a lot of other people call it, the sailboat exercise. Protecting the look, feel, and identity of your product is crucial, and that's where James Gorley can help. As an expert intellectual property attorney at Karstens, Allen, and Gorley, James knows that trademarks are essential for legally protecting your brand, name, logo, and packaging design. This ensures no one can imitate your identity or piggyback on your success. With James Gorley guiding you, you'll safeguard the goodwill you've built with your customers and avoid confusion in the marketplace. Don't leave your brand vulnerable. Work with James Gorley to protect your business today. Visit CageLaw, that's CAGlaw.com, to learn more. One of the things you wanted to first do before you really get into the deep part of the meeting of what's the challenge, what's the idea, you just want to open up with, hey, what's going well? What's moving us forward today in the business? What are some things we've accomplished we're really proud of? And let people practice just quietly. Give them a couple minutes to jot down one idea per note and put those up, and then ask. I like asking a few people, like, hey, which of these that you put up, what's your favorite one and why? And letting a few people talk about that. And that kind of sets the mood and also gets them in the frame of mind of thinking like this. After you do that, you got a lightened mood, you get people thinking with a problem-solving mindset at this point. Hey, what's slowing us down? What's holding us back? What are your frustrations? Or anything along those lines. Or what are our frustrations with sales right now? Whatever it might be. Then you can give them a little more time. Again, use those post-it notes, one idea per note, and give them, 5-6 minutes to really sit down and write those out. And then after that time's up, let them know when they have like 30 seconds left. Everybody take all their ideas, all their challenges they've captured, and collectively, all at once, as much as you can, go up to a board, a wall. I've used windows, I've used garage doors, whatever. Stick them up there randomly. So it's just almost like a big, giant thought cloud of the collective team. Now, you can sit there and try to eke out whose handwriting is whose, but that's not the point. The point is it's shared up there equally. Everybody got their points out, their frustrations out. And the really cool thing is, hey, guys, if you see anything up there that is exactly the same as what you said, stick the sticky top note on top of that. Make a collection of those. That is just a little side piece of this exercise I've discovered. Is people start saying, hey, I'm not the only one thinking about these problems. There's some other people sharing these ideas or sharing these problems. I don't feel as alone. So now you see that psychological security coming into play. And then once it's all up, if you want to, you can organize them. If it's obvious, you can organize these challenges into categories or just leave them as is. But you got this visual cloud now, and everybody has access to all the points, all the problems at the same time, and see them. And give them time to kind of reflect on them. Give them a few minutes to kind of look over all those challenges they have. And now it's becoming more of a team unit. The next thing you can do is, if you really want to get to what the biggest challenge of all these are. Now, of course, you as an owner are going to be thinking, oh my God, I am failing. You're not. You're finally getting under the hood of those frustrations. And you're also seeing people have similar frustrations. And you're going to be wondering, which one's the biggest frustration? Well, I like to use little round sticky dots, stickers. Give them 5 or 6 and let them go up and choose, of all that visual mind cloud, what they think are the most pressing frustrations. And they can vote more than once on one of them if they really feel strongly about it. But the only rule is use all the sticky dots. What you'll see is a bubbling at the top of what your team, and you obviously get the vote too, think the most challenging aspects are. Now you have a ranked system. So you have your top 3 um, challenges or what's under the hood of the frustrations identified. Now, my suggestion would be to move forward with 1 or 2 of those challenges, and don't worry right away about the challenges that are left, because I often tell some of my clients that don't worry about those, because if you fix for your top challenges, chances are you're going to be cascading down and fixing some of the ones that were left behind. And if not, they'll be brought up again. You can always run this again. It only takes about 10 minutes to run. So this is a really good way of giving everybody a voice, but not isolating, individualizing anybody else. Your introverts will like it because they don't want to talk in the first place. Your extroverts will be hesitant, but once they get up there and then you focus down on an idea or the challenge, then you can open up discussion and let them shine. Your tactile visual people are going to love it because they can start visually mapping this out and seeing where all the dots connect and run with this, and they have something to actually play with. So it really covers the gambit of the different personality types as well. Also, with these challenges, you can keep a backlog of the unresolved issues and check them off and see if the ones you're working on help solve those. This is just one way of doing this. This little technique has led me to do other things of when it's an individual with their frustrations is taking their frustrations and literally unpacking all of their responsibilities and seeing where overlaps lie. And this is another workshop I run called a Manager's Challenge. But also you can do this with an individual and their team, like a manager and their team, and unpack all of their stuff, all their frustrations, everything they do. And the team can come in and go, hey, I can help with that. I can help with that. A friend of mine, Bill, who is a co-owner of Fancy Freeze, answered one of my questions on LinkedIn. Is kind of what he does. He gets into the frustrations of what can you do to help each other? And he was just in an open meeting, which was great. And then just thought, oh, this is a great way to take the next step in these challenges. The manager or the manager's frustration with the team, this is a really good way of unpacking that as well. So just keep in mind that frustration isn't a roadblock. It's a signaling point towards what matters most. And I just kind of gave you an idea of how to get to what matters most. Recognizing that frustration as a valuable tool for growth and using these techniques, we'll get to the root cause of these prioritized solutions. When we stop dismissing frustration and start listening to it, we can turn obstacles into opportunities and move our teams forward. Finally, if you want to know more about how to get to what's holding your team back, use this tool. Let me know how it works. If you want to know more about it, feel free to reach out to me in the LinkedIn DM or in the show notes. My email's there. And I'd love to talk to you more about it and see where else you need guidance or where I can take you from here. I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially if you try this out. And let me know your challenges you're having with this little mini workshop or what you've discovered and what you've unlocked. I'd love to hear that. I love it when people have their aha breakthrough moments. And it's just because this enabled them to unlock what they already knew. They just didn't have the structure to get them there. So again, my name is Matthew Shipp. This is the Workshop Minute from Harvest to Pour, and I hope this helps you guys out today. And don't forget to rate and like, especially if you got something out of this. This really helps get the word out of what my podcast is trying to do for the beverage industry and any other businesses out there looking to improve their teams, improve their processes, and improve their systems. Talk to you soon. Small business owners, which path are you on? Path 1, the bridge is out. That's where 50% of businesses fail, taking savings and credit with them. Or is it path 2, the road to nowhere, the long hours, low pay, no exit? Essentially, you make yourself another job. Or path 3, the success path, where your business grows, generates recurring revenue, and becomes a valuable asset. At Anchor My Business, we help you build a credit using your company's EIN, kind of like your company's social security number. This separates your personal and business finances by obtaining financing or credit that is not backed by collateral. such as your home, car, or other personal assets. And then you become truly bankable. So your business stands strong, independent of personal guarantees. Take our free pre qualification assessment today and see where your business stands. Are you ready to anchor your business for success? Visit the link in the show notes and start your journey on the success path. Don't let the storm blow you off course. Anchor your business and secure your future.